Hi and welcome to this video, and this is the 5th video in the series of flight training for beginners. And in this video we're going to be flying a different track, and I'll just show you that track now. So if we just go to change track, we're now on level 3 gates and figure 8. So this is the next one along. So in the last video we were on level 2 gates, and on this one we're on level 3 gates and figure 8, and we may well move on to some of these others as well in this video, but we'll start out with level 3 gates and figure 8. Now the reason that we're running this particular track is because up until now we've been doing a track which is basically all left turns, or mostly left turns, and this track is, as you can see here, figure 8s. So you have to do left and right coordinated turns. So it's teaching you to fly left turns and right turns, which is of course very important. I've also made a little change to the quad for this one. So if we go to the quad settings, I've put my camera angle up to 35 degrees because I want to fly a little bit more quickly. You don't have to put yours to 35 degrees if you're not ready for that just yet. Then, you know, stay at 20 or 25 or 30 or work your way up. But the idea is to get to about 35 degrees on this track. And we're going to start out on the 40-40 prop, and then I'm going to suggest that we actually change quad and use a slightly different quad, which may well help us, or we're going to switch to the 50-40 prop. So quite a lot to get through in this video. I'm going to start out just by turning on my sticks here by pressing the M key, and I'm also going to start the race. And you'll see that we have a gate indicator appear over here, this blue gate indicator. Now you can turn those on and off with the I key, so if you don't see them, then press the I key and they should appear for you. And we're just going to basically gently fly, coordinating our turns, and then we get the gate indicator to tell us where to go next, which is why we've turned it on, so we don't get lost, because there is a crossover in this track and it's quite easy to be following the cones and end up following the wrong set of cones. And we just want to be gently flying around like this, controlling our height, coordinating our turns, and watching for that gate indicator. Now I'll just show you something about these gate indicators. If you try and fly through a gate the wrong way, it will show red, and the right way it will show blue. And you can change the colour of the gate indicator in the options. So mine is currently set to cyan, or this blue colour, but you can have them orange, white, yellow. I think those are the main options for it. There may be some others, but certainly blue, orange, white and yellow are available. And just pick the one that is the most visible to you. And we just want to be gently flying through these, controlling our height, coordinating our turns, and flying around this track nice and gently. And that's stage 1 of this tutorial, is just getting used to controlling your height, controlling your speed, not hitting the ground, and just flying through these gates a bit at a time. And then we'll just do this last lap. I'm just going to run this one a little bit faster. So we're looking to, you know, slowly pick up our speed, and that's why we've set the camera angle to 35, so that we can fly a bit quicker, like this. And we want to be controlling that side slip using the throttle in the corners to just kind of power us around the corners so that we make our gates. And the other thing that I'll give you as a little tip, and we're going to swap quads before I do that. So let me just finish here. And this is our end of race dialog, which shows you your lap times and your race time and all the rest of it. And that will disappear on its own in a moment. And you can change how long that is on the screen as well, but I think by default it's 10 seconds. So we're just going to pop back to the main menu here. And I'm going to add a different quad. So we're going to go single player. I'm going to click add quad. I'm going to pick toothpicks, HX115, and I'm going to add this quad. Yep. And then once I've added that quad, we're going to go back into level 3 gates and figure 8. So click this one at the top here. And if I just going to go line of sight actually and just reset this so that you can just see this. So I can press the F key and it will change me to line of sight, so you can see that that is in fact the HX115 now. I'm flying, which is a little toothpick quad with kind of 3.5 inch size props. It's not as fast as a 5-inch, but it's certainly a little bit faster than the 4040 props that we were flying before. I'll press F again now to go back to FPV. But the other thing about this quad is that it's lighter, so it has less momentum than a 5-inch quad, which means that it doesn't drift as much when you go around a course like this. It's actually, you know, much less drifty, so you don't have to do much correction in order to fly it through the gates. So this can be quite good for kind of just building up your speed without having to deal with the momentum of the quad, or the quad trying to fly out to the sides of the turn that you're making due to, you know, centrifugal force acting on the quad. So let's just adjust the camera angle on this again as well. So we'll just go into change quad settings, and oh, it's already at 35, so that's fine. So we'll stick with that. And we'll start a race. And I'm just going to give you a little tip here as well. So when you're flying a track like this and you're coming up to a gate like this, which is a left turn gate, you want to treat this part of the gate as the bit that you're flying round. So ignore this side of it and ignore the middle. Think of trying to cut around this like it was a flag. Pretend it was a flag. So this is like a curved flag, and you're just trying to turn around this arm of the flag. So ignore the middle and the rest of the gate, but just look at this as if you're just trying to turn around this as if it was a flag. And then for the next one, we're going to do the same thing, but for the right hand side of the gate. So we're going to treat this right hand side like the flag that we want to turn in. So you see I'm now cutting to the inside of these gates. And then on this one, I'm going to aim for the left hand side of the gate and cut to the inside as if it was a flag. And then I'm going to aim for the right hand side of the gate and cut to the inside as if it was a flag. And what I'm giving myself here is plenty of room to make it through the gate. So if I do slide a little bit wide, I've got room to slide a little bit wide as I fly faster. And this is a great tip for getting faster at flying gates, is treat gates as if they were flags, and just pick the side of the gate that you're going to fly around as if it was a flag. Okay, so notice my sticks aren't turned on here, so we'll turn those on with the M key. So I'm just going to abort this race and I'm going to move to the next level. I'm going to change track and we're going to go to gates and flags. So now we've got some flags in here, and we'll start this one. So again, treat the left hand side of the gate as if it was a flag, and this one, treat the left hand side as if it was a flag. And now we've actually got a flag down here, so we just turn around that, and then another flag, and then treat the left hand side of this gate as if it was a flag, the right hand side of this gate as if it was a flag, the left hand side of this gate as if it was a flag. Well, you get the idea, I probably don't need to keep repeating that. And then just try to get faster, and you'll see that this quad has got very, very little momentum to it, so you can turn and it doesn't swing out very much. So this will allow you to get used to flying a quad faster, but without having to deal with too much momentum. Okay. So that's that track, and that's flags. So let's just move on again. So we're going to change track again, and we're going to go all the way down here to figure 8, split S and flags, because the next one's just got more flags in it. So we're going to go to an extra element here, which is a split S. So I'm going to start this one off. Flying again as before, coordinating the sticks, pushing both sticks left to turn left. And now this is a split S, so we're going to go over the top, and then we're just going to turn flat like that and fly back through. And this is the beginning, a beginner's way of doing a split S. So what we're doing is we're avoiding rolling the quad into the split S, and we're just doing a flat turn. So we're keeping the quad nice and flat, the right way up effectively, and not making our lives too difficult with rolling and going through the split S in like a half loop, if you like. I will show you that in a moment. So let's just get back to that split S, and I'm gonna fly this. So the beginner way of doing it is like this, and just turn flat on the yaw and fly back through. And you can turn either way, so you can turn the other way if you prefer, and back through. Turn to the right and back through. As you can see, as I'm going over the top here, I'm just kind of leaving my throttle alone and just spinning the quad. More yaw than roll, so a little bit of roll but more yaw, as you can see there, and then fly back through. So that's the beginner split S, and then the more complicated split S is like that. So you literally drop, you do like a roll and drop over it. You don't need to go completely upside down, that's not necessary, but it's now more roll orientated. If you look at the sticks, you'll see that this is now more roll orientated and less yaw orientated, and that's generally a faster way to do the split S, because you can cut the gate closer in your split S maneuver, like so. So that's the next thing to practice. Now when you get to the point where you can fly around this track and you're doing reasonably okay, now's the time actually to switch back off of the toothpick. Go back to the main menu, and we're going to go single player, and we're going to pick the Oblivion again. Go back to our same track, and what we're going to do is we're going to speed the Oblivion up a little bit and change our quad settings here, and we're going to go to a 50-40. And this is going to make the quad quite a bit quicker. We're going to go from a top speed of 75-ish to a top speed that's more around 100 miles an hour. Plus much more acceleration as well, so it's going to accelerate a lot faster. We'll leave the camera angle at 35 degrees, and we'll start our race.
2, 1.
And now we've got a little bit more momentum in the quad, so as we go around these corners, do our split S. But the faster we fly around here, you can see I'm now spinning out. Do you see that? See how I'm not following the white line anymore, because we've got momentum in the quad. You see that? So now we've got to start developing throttle control to keep ourselves on track. So if you're spinning out, or the momentum is carrying you wide, then you're probably not using enough throttle to keep yourself tied into the corner. You see, you can hear me rev the quad up as I went round that corner, and that's to keep me on track and follow the cones. So I don't actually want to spin out. I'm not actually dropping the throttle in these turns now. I'm actually keeping the throttle fairly the same. A little bit more throttle there, more throttle there. And you're using throttle now to really keep your quad where you want it, following the track. And this will take a lot of hours to develop, and when it looks very easy as I'm doing it here, let me just turn on my sticks so you can see this. M to turn on my sticks. And you see the throttle is not really moving very much anymore, so I'm keeping the throttle on. Sometimes I'm throttling up just to give me a little bit more punch around the corner to make the tighter turns. As I say, this will take time to develop. This is much more complicated, this type of flying with momentum and with power, and using throttle, roll and yaw to control the quad and keep you on a consistent course. Okay, so that's pretty much everything for this tutorial, and I'll see you on the next one.